Okay, we are clear.
All right. Can I take some internet calls?
Sure.
All right. Eric, Michigan.
Oh, hi, I'm on.
Yeah, the show's over, but so this won't go on the regular show, but if you have a question, feel free to get it out.
Oh, that's fine. I was actually going to say something about abortion, that it's safe, legal abortion, that needs to be accessible everywhere, we have people safe, and less going to get the consequences of, not having it accessible. I guess it's kind of hard talking because I can hear my voice echoing through the phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does it do that?
I heard that it was doing that to other people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of an echo problem today, so.
I guess just talk and don't listen for a minute.
Okay. Well, I actually kind of wrote this down, so it shouldn't be too hard. So I wrote, I believe that safe legal abortion needs to be kept accessible everywhere, not just for women's sake. There's a lot of people who are pro-choice are mostly just arguing for the women's sake, but it's also for the baby's sake as well. If abortion becomes illegal, the number of unwanted children without families to take care of them will increase dramatically, and orphanages will have to shift priorities from making sure all the children are happy to making sure all the children are alive. And many of the unready parents who decide to keep the children may not be able to support them or care for them. Because overpopulation is already a growing problem, so we shouldn't do anything to make it worse. Millions of children slowly dying from malnutrition and or living dirty, violent, or poor lives is much worse than snuffing out a few undeveloped fetuses.
Well, actually, I argue in favor of abortion being safe and legal on basically I use the bodily rights argument. You have the right to control what happens to your own body, to include whether some other organism gets to use your body. And that's actually what's happening when you're pregnant. A pregnant woman is permitting another organism to use her body to sustain its life. And nowhere else are you required to do that. I don't think that it should be legal or ethical to require a pregnant woman to use her body to sustain another human life.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I was just presenting another, I don't know if I should say side, because it also supports legal abortion.
Yeah.
Just saying that it's, in addition to the women hosting the organism and it's also like what kind of quality of life the baby would live once it comes out for unready parents, because that's another reason some people might get an abortion.
Yeah, and and I'm not saying that it's not a valid argument. I just don't think it's the best argument.
Okay. There's another thing that I guess one of the things that bothers me about this abortion issue. I know this might be digressing a little bit, but when it comes to an undeveloped human fetus with slightly more thought capacity than an amoeba, pro-life people want to protect it at all costs. But when a scared dog who feels threatened then comes to bite somebody, he may get put down. And people are arguing there's huge infringement in human rights with abortion when there's a much bigger infringement on animal rights.
Well, I think that's a terrible argument. I never use that one, in favor of abortion.
I know. I guess that's a little bit more animal rights than abortion.
Yeah.
But
I try not to mix arguments like that.
Yeah.
And especially when it's not necessary. The bodily rights argument pretty much nails it right there. If you have a child that is born, it is in the world, it is an independent human life, okay, not dependent on the mother anymore. If that child needs a kidney, and the mother is the only match on the planet, that mother is still not required to give her kidney to her own living child to save its life.
Absolutely.
And so why should the mother be required to give up any part of her body before the child is born? You know, that's the bodily rights argument. You're not required to use your body to sustain another person at any point.
Yes. And actually, on that note, I've read in some places where abortion is illegal, women would go to extreme measures to do it themselves. Like,
yeah, that has happened in this country. Before abortion was widely available, making abortion illegal doesn't stop it.
Exactly.
It just makes it more difficult and more dangerous for women. And in fact, if you look at the statistics, Guttmacher Institute has a lot of abortion statistics, and they've looked at this throughout the world. The places on the planet with the most restrictive abortions also tend to have the most abortions per capita.
Yeah.
So the places that have the most liberal abortion laws tend to have very low rates of abortion. And part of that is that when you have liberal abortion laws, you typically have widely available contraceptive methods, and that tends to reduce the need for abortion.
That is a very interesting point. I'd like to use that next time I get into some argument with somebody about abortion.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
thank you for taking my call.
Okay, thank you. I think we've got one more caller on the line.
Sergio in New York.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hi.
I'm doing really well. I wanted to say that I actually really enjoy your show. I actually really wish I had something like it when I was growing up. So it's really, I just want to commend you on your great work.
Well, thanks.
Actually, I have one quick question before my original question. I was wondering, and it's a slight criticism of your show, of why there are no atheists of color as hosts. I was wondering what was up with that.
Actually, you know, it's one of the things that's on our list of things is basically to have a greater outreach to some of the communities, particularly in the local area, the Black and Hispanic communities. And in fact, Matt Dillahunty recently had a discussion with David Tamayo of the Hispanics, Hispanic Atheists and Freethinkers, Half Free, I think is the name of the organization. And we've also had Lorena Rios, also of that organization, On the Godless Bitches. We're talking about, you know, how to reach out to Hispanics. We have an interest in reaching out to the Black community as well. And because basically how you get on the show is that you get involved in the organization, and we get to know you a little bit better, and at some point, you know, if you're interested in being on the show, then you get on the show. So it's not something that we're going to send out, you know, things say, hey, anybody that's Black or Hispanic in the community that wants to be on the show, come on over and we'll let you on just because we want somebody of color. We would never do something like that. But, you know, I would like to have more atheists of color, and I know some people object to that. So anyway, minorities from the community involved with the ACA, and then, you know, we'll see what direction that takes.
There were a whole lot of Black atheists that we met at the American Atheist Convention.
Yeah.
And like in particular, you guys, or not you, but Beth did a panel with Jamila Bay, who I thought gave one of the best talks at the whole convention.
Yeah, and in fact, there are lots of podcasts out there and radio shows and stuff like that with, you know, Black and Hispanic atheists. So this idea that, in fact, I've kind of come a long way in the last probably 3 or 4 years. I remember we got a call. I don't know if you were doing the show with me. We were on Matt's couch back when the studio was closed.
Okay.
And somebody called and said, hey, how come there aren't very many Black atheists? And I was
we've gotten a lot of those calls, really.
Yeah, and I was kind of stammering around thinking, I'm not sure why somebody's asking a white woman this, but, you know. And so I don't know that I did the question justice, but since then, I've actually met a lot of Black atheists and a lot of Hispanic atheists. So they're out there, and we just need to find them and get them involved in the
Yeah, shout out to Ian Cromwell, who lives in Canada. He's got a blog called The Communist Manifesto that is really good, that you should check out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Reginald Finley, who has Free Thought Radio, I think. No, Infidel, the Infidel guy.
Yeah.
He was the first host of the Non-Prophets when that was around.
Yeah.
I mean, his radio station. And he's a black atheist. But yeah, there should be a higher visibility among black people in the atheist movement, and we totally agree with that. Is he still on?
Still there? No, we may have lost him.
All right.
Oh well.
Good talking to you.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
We got clear lines now.
Hang up on you, dude.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.